Say cheese, yes please. Today I'm covering block cheese, shredded cheese, cheese singles. We're gonna talk cheese, string cheese that I grew up with, cottage cheese. We're talking all things cheese. If you're a cheese lover, how do we make sure this doesn't toxify you? How do you make sure you don't damage your gut in the process? I'm gonna give you the tips right now. Let's go. So block cheese, one of my favorites. I love, along with my kids, just slices of this. There's multiple different layers, kind of a good, better, best. At least start to go the right direction of getting some of the processed added hormones out of it, and then we're gonna start moving our way up. So compared to conventional cheese, the first thing that we wanna see on the package is that there isn't any added hormones. So right there on the package, you can see on this one, it's not organic, it's not natural or anything like that. However, it's going to be produced without added hormones. That's a first good sign that I want to see at any grocery store is, does it at least take the hormones out? So there's not extra hormones ending up in our system. That's a very big thing for females. Next up then, we're looking at organic. So when you buy organic, the difference is the animal is going to be well taken care of. It's going to be fed less inflammatory foods like more grass and less grain. And there's not going to be those antibiotics. There's not going to be the hormones that are going to be used. So I love that if we get block cheese, we are getting organic, okay? This is still going to be pasteurized a lot of times. And so that means that the good nutrients that are inside of the cheese with higher amounts of vitamins and minerals and good healthy fats can be lessened when you do heat it as compared to a raw cheese. So this will kind of be better, right? And let's keep going into best. So we got a couple here. These are becoming more and more prevalent at a lot of different grocery stores. Where we start to see grass-fed forms of these cheese. So this one here, Organic Valley, pasture-raised cows, right? So we're seeing them, they're actually able to graze more, eat a lot more of the grass, less inflammation ends up in the animal, less inflammation ends up in you. There's no GMOs, and they're fed a clean diet. So that would be the better for sure, and then you can go all the way up, and this is starting to be more and more popular. This is grass milk, 100% grass-fed, no grain, raw cheese. Now, raw is not going to be heated. You're like, oh my gosh. In Europe, this is actually more common than not. And here it's flip-flopped. But when you heat it up, you zap all those nutrients. So in order to maintain the cheese's nutrients and get the highest quality nutrients out of it, that would be your ultimate organic, grass-fed, raw cheese. I love this cheese. Okay, let's move on to shredded cheese. Now, you'd probably be better off just taking one of those blocks, shredding it yourself. But we get kind of lazy, don't we? I do too. The downfall is then any shredded cheese that you're going to choose, you're going to have an anti-caking agent in with it. Now, it is only just cellulose, which is just a fiber that's going to pass through you, but you are adding another ingredient to the mix. So the better tasting, more cost efficient, less toxic way is just to buy a block of cheese and shred it yourself. So you are going to see some of these caking agents show up at the end here, powdered cellulose. They're adding some enzymes to obviously the cheese. This one's pasteurized. But I do like this is organic because we are going to get the higher quality of nutrients and we're not going to get all the hormones and the antibiotics. So I'm looking for the same types that I was looking for with the block cheese. If I can eliminate the conventional, of course. If we can get it antibiotic free, absolutely. And organic, even better. All right, let's talk some of the kids' favorites. Sliced cheese. If you like those cheese singles, bad news for you, that's not actually cheese. It's chemicals put together and processed in order to make cheese. And a lot of times they become very toxic. But at health food stores now, you're starting to see this pop up even more. So there's the milk, and these are all the ingredients they have to add in order to turn it into a cheese single. So it's not like a block of cheese at all, but this mixture together makes it cheesy-ish. And this has some coloring in it, annatto. Annatto is an all-natural food coloring that is okay. This would be actually a decent choice compared to like the Kraft singles. You're gonna get a lot of chemicals with those, and it's not actually cheese. But if you do like that creaminess, an organic version of that, Horizon Valley is a good option to do that. And then one of my favorites as a kid, obviously, the packaged cheese, right? String cheeses. I should probably throw this in my cart for my kids later because they love these things. We flip this over, it's just organic, and we're only looking at just a couple of the ingredients. So our ideal is that we would look for this to be organic. This one happens not to be, but again, we're seeing on the front without added hormones, without antibiotics. So if you can always take that step with your cheeses, that's gonna be a lot more beneficial. It's gonna eliminate a lot of the toxicity that goes along with it. And then of course, if there is organic involved, then that's the one we wanna reach for first. So when we look at cream cheeses, definitely can be used in some great dips. If you have an allergy sensitivity to dairy, stay away from it. If you have gut issues, autoimmune issues, I'd probably stay away from it as well. But an organic one and the regular cream cheese with non-conventional. It's going to be made without the antibiotics again. That's the one we'd be looking for. Organic, again, you're going to get the higher nutrient content in those. If we flip them over, just taking a quick glance, looks like that our ingredients are going to be better in the organic one. That's only 4. Where this one's going to have a few more additives and thickeners to it. So a lot less toxicity when you go with the organic and higher quality of nutrients when it comes to the cream cheese. So let's talk cottage cheese. Now, the main thing with cottage cheese is we want to make sure, one, we follow those same rules, more natural, eliminating the hormones, eliminating the antibiotics. But one thing I want to point out here is one is low fat, one is normal fat. Always going to go with a higher amount of fat. This one would be made typically with a 2% milk. We want the full fat milk, okay? And what that's going to do is add in those nutrients, going to add in the healthy fats, going to maintain the nutrients that we want to keep in when it comes to having dairy, because it does have some nutrients with it. So organic cottage cheese is the direction we want to go. Don't skimp and go low fat. Keep the fats in to help keep the body strong. And wrapping up the cheeses, we'll just throw in sour cream just for the heck of it because we're right here. There's a couple decent brands here. Let's just go label looking. That's what I want to start teaching you to do and what I'm looking for. So we got organic milk. It's got some good probiotics added to it and enzymes. This one has the exact same thing. So you're getting some good probiotics there. You are cutting down the chemicals by getting it organic. At least get it natural and cut out those hormones. You always got to be very leery. You see the trends when it comes to cheese of how to pick these out properly. You can still enjoy it. Don't overdo it. But there's a lot of good ways to use cheese, like pizza. Our family loves pizza. You can, in fact, get the world's healthiest pizza recipe below. I put that link for you. Check that out. Subscribe to the channel. I'll keep bringing you tasty videos.